Hey, this is Bryce Johnson from Expedition Bigfoot. You're listening to the PARAnomaly Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria!
Mike, have you ever encountered a humanoid terror?
Yeah, I have. Oh my God. Yes, I really have. And you think I'm joking, and you're just waiting and you're watching my face to see how pokerish it is, aren't you?
100%, my friend.
And I am telling you I'm telling you this absolute, honest truth. Okay.
All right. I'm waiting. I'm
have
interested.
seen, dealt with, and everything else can go along with it. It was actually my first wife. So,
see, I knew I should have had the sound bites ready. I needed that little, you know,
and actually,
the snare and the hi hat. You know. Yep. I was waiting for. I think that's your second, or maybe it was from a few weeks ago now. But you've had at least 2 ex-wife jokes now.
Have I?
Yeah, because I asked because one of our hypotheticals from an episode a week or so ago, or however long ago it was. I'm losing track of time. The question was posed: what would be the worst place to be stuck at as a ghost?
Oh, yeah.
And you said
I remember that well.
At my ex-wife's house. So,
I meant it.
I know you meant it, and now you throw out the humanoid terror as a reference to your ex-wife. Now, is this the same ex-wife that you are referring to, or you know? Because I know there's 2, right, or 3, or how many damn times were you married?
I am on my 4th now. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Well, this is it. I know that this is it because
I was at that one. I was at that wedding. I was your best little man.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I was your best. I wasn't your best little man. I was just up there. You didn't have a best man, or did you?
Yeah, yes, you were.
It was me. Okay.
That's what when I first asked you, I distinctly said the words best man.
I know, but I thought like best men, like they held the ring or something like that. But you guys didn't do any of that stuff. You didn't like.
No, that was because we had a ring bearer.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And a flower girl.
That's very true. That's very true.
So, which greatly reduced your duties.
It did. I just stood there. That's all I did, and I sweat because it was very warm out that day.
And you made me promise to not make you do a speech.
I did. But looking back, it was like, well, what, you know, that wouldn't have been a big deal at all. I mean, everyone there was pleasant and wonderful.
Absolutely, they were.
It wouldn't have been an issue. But when I'm looking back at that wedding, it's hard for me to recall everything because immediately following that wedding, I got extremely sick. And guess what? I've been extremely sick again. Oh my goodness gracious, Mike! Apologies to all of our 7 or 8 or maybe 10 or so listeners who missed out on us last week. But man alive, I could just feel it coming on. I don't know if you remember, Mike, last Saturday I texted you and I said,
yeah,
maybe we could do this tomorrow, Sunday. Yep. I have a meeting with my brother and I'll be good to go tomorrow. I started feeling super drowsy and just down that Saturday night. I haven't really felt any better since then. Finally, the last few days I've been back to work. Holy cow, Mike, I got nailed with something. It wasn't fun. So apologies to everyone who missed us. So,
did you have the COVID?
I don't think so. With the new job, I've been exposed to loads and loads of sick, hacking children and who are carrying who knows what. And as my coworkers pleasantly refer to it, yes, you are walking into a cesspool when you work at
Well,
a
do you care
school
to
facility.
do you care to let the listeners know what it is you're doing now?
Well, you know what? It is a job that I do feel really good about myself
Yes,
when I get home.
absolutely.
When I get home from work, even though I missed 2 days already, I had to. Mike, it sucked. 22 years at the prior job, I can count on one hand the amount of times I had to call in multiple days due to sickness. Less than 2 weeks into my new job, I've already done it. 2 days in a row, I had to. I just couldn't function. And
It was not your choice.
And then Bridget came home sick too. She stayed home a day as well. I mean, there's just a ton of crap going around. But I'm working at the school and I'm working with special needs children, and it's been a challenge, Mike. Holy cow, it's been a challenge, but it's been pretty rewarding, and
I'm sure.
looking forward to expounding on that. And so every day's different. That's one thing, man. Every day is different. So it's been unique, but hey, one foot in front of the other, right? Now, Mike,
That's right.
Mike has a look of consternation on his face. What happened?
Consternation. What the hell does that mean?
Just go with it. Just
No, I was moving something. Yeah, I know what it meant.
What does that mean? My goodness gracious, would you stop playing the dumb guy role for once? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I just had to move something in a corner of my new setup here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mike's setup. It confused me for a little bit. I was trying to figure out where you were. I was like, Mike's been abducted. He's on a spacecraft right now.
Yeah. See, I got more things to look at.
Yeah, exactly. It looks pretty cool, man. It looks pretty cozy. The sounds like it. No pun intended by saying it sounds like, but maybe perhaps you're a little more enclosed now, and some of the.
It is definitely more enclosed.
You don't have to listen to Mary's hacking, wailing laughter in the background anymore.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, because
No.
she probably,
I think that'll always come through one way or another.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So getting back to Humanoid Terrors, Mike, aside from your ex-wife, you know what I'm referring to when I throw out that phrase, Humanoid Terrors. I'm assuming you
Yes.
did. In this case, as far as this episode goes, we're talking about, gosh, how do you want to describe it other than that? Alleged encounters with beyond frightening, eerily human-like, but they damn well aren't human,
Right.
creatures of some sort. We're not talking about just the basic Bigfoot
Right.
encounters, or even like the Wendigo or Hat Man or anything like that.
They are of a different ilk of those.
Very well said, Mike. Yes, definite ilk. We came across a pretty cool a menagerie of alleged encounters, and we're going to kind of pick and choose from some of the most bizarre ones here. It's going to be a good conversation. It is good to be back. In case you are new to the program, this is the Paranomaly Zone, your weekly dose of all things. Hey, you guessed it, paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Koffenberg, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the man who needs no introduction, literally, finally, because I can't think of anything, Mr. Mike Harbno. It is good to see you. I'm sorry that I wimped out last week.
Oh, you didn't wimp out. You did what you had to do.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Do I sound...
Absolutely.
Do I sound okay? I mean, my throat is still kind of effed up a little bit.
It sounds a little bit off, but not
Okay.
just barely.
Just a little less nasally than usual, maybe, or
Yeah, you sound like you're just at the extreme tail end of whatever
oh, sure.
illness you may have had.
Gotcha.
Whatever kind of ilkness you had.
what was the ilk of your illness? I don't know. Do not know, but hopefully that's in the rear view mirror. Yeah, some of the stuff I wrote down here, Mike, is kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to diving into some of these possibilities. You threw out a great one yesterday when we were kind of texting back and forth, and you threw out the idea about some of these alleged cryptids. Yeah, there it is. It wouldn't be an episode without Mike's phone dinging.
I can't turn the dang thing on.
Mike cannot figure out his own dinghy. But that's okay. Now he's staring at it again.
All right.
He's holding it upside down.
Oh, hey, I might have done it. Okay, let's go with that.
Listen to that. I might have done it.
Okay. I might have got her fixed, but I don't know.
I might have got her done there. That's pretty impressive there, my
I hope I
friend.
fixed it because Patrick scares me
What?
every time a little sound comes up.
And those sounds aren't just from me either. He's not talking
Right.
about some little sounds from little
Yes.
Patrick. So, see, I lost my train of thought already. Hey, listeners, you're going to have to give me a little a leash here because I'm recovering. I can't say that enough. But, Mike, by the way,
Yes.
before I share that text message you sent to me, because again, I thought it was pretty profound. What are you doing? Goodness.
I'm trying to fix a cord on my mic.
Gotta look like you.
Okay, I'm done.
Good God, dude. Okay.
Oh, I'm just.
Does all of this stuff literally happen at the moment? I mean, you don't have any chance to like adjust this shit before.
Well, this is actually just like an hour away from being done. My movement.
Okay. Okay. Now backtracking again. Are you done? Are you done adjusting? Anything
Yes,
else that's going to
yes.
happen? Okay. Before I share that wonderfully lucid text, I don't know if it was lucid, but it was thought provoking.
Okay.
Text that you sent me yesterday regarding this topic. Did you mail out the award to Angela Don?
No, I have not yet because I am still going through a number of
It's okay.
prizes
A number.
that need. See, I need to have the right package together because there's.
Why did you pause Why did you pause there? He said you're still going
It
through
was
a number
it was a
of.
dramatic pause.
Okay.
I I have a plethora of items in there, so I need to make sure they're wrapped because some of them are fragile; they might break in transit, and I don't want that to happen.
Oh, good Lord. That's the last thing that we want our
So,
listeners to experience.
Angela
either.
Don, if it's coming, I promise. So
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. I'm kidding. No, they'll get
no,
there.
seriously.
They'll get there. They'll get there.
No, man. You should see all the stuff I got laid out.
Oh, I
that
believe
gotta
you.
Just choose from.
I believe you. I totally believe you. Yeah. So now he's just staring at me.
I'm waiting for your next
Oh, that's right. Oh,
movement here.
I won't share the exact the text exactly word for word, but you threw out the idea about some of these like alleged humanoid terrors. The encounters with some of these creepy, wacky, usually bipedal, weird things. You're like, what if this is like conjured up, literally conjured up by the human, I guess, psyche in general? I think we've mentioned stuff like this before, in particular when we talked about the Slender Man phenomena, about such a thing possibly being conjured up from thin air from the power of the human mind. So I kind of like this idea, Mike. How many, if not all of these encounters, not saying they're from the imagination, but they've been actually created
Right.
by the power of our
Given
minds.
the energy to exist in real life.
So, I mean, if that is something as a possibility, I love that idea. To conjure up something of a physical embodiment, something that is, tangible, you could touch, you can poke with a stick. Hey.
Make it do the Pillsbury Doughboy laugh.
Absolutely. You can make it do whatever you want. Not only does it make you, well, I shouldn't say make you, not only does it make you wonder about the power of the mind and that's a whole nother ball of wax, about what is real and what isn't and yada, yada, yada. But that has to make you wonder, especially if you're a skeptic, Mike.
That's right.
Are all of these ghosty encounters all just a part of our human imagination? Are they real? I'm doing air quotes, real, but only because we have created them. It's a whole other ball of wax, like I said, but it's something to ponder.
Yes, it is a ponderable.
Can you say that? Say, our listeners have been waiting to hear you say, do it. Oh man, you got some deep reverb going there too. That was pretty cool. Sound like a, I don't know, expulsion of gas of some sort, but that was pretty cool.
Explosion of gas.
Yeah, nothing wrong with expulsions of gas. Well, Mike, should we dive into some of these weird, wacky, wild stuff, or are we done with the worthless intros?
Intro gabberation.
Maybe. You know, we do get feedback from time to time, and I know throughout the years I've been told various things about cut the length of the intros down. I've heard
Why don't you tell me these things?
I'm trying to explain.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I'm saying throughout the years, I've heard.
Okay.
I've heard the gamut. You know, from cut the intros down to no, we love the intros. They're the best part of the show. You know, and it's like, well, what the hell? What do we do? And if you are a longtime listener, you've traveled with us, so to speak, audibly, and you've gone through the changes that we've experimented with.
And failed at.
Oh, yeah, more often than not. More often than not, you know. But, hey, it's worth it. Every attempt, even if you fail, is worth the try.
Yeah, even the name change.
You had to throw that out there, didn't you? To throw.
But let's not go there. Okay.
No, I'm good. Well, you just mentioned something that I have to elaborate a little bit on that one now.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I love the name. I love our new name 900 times better than the prior name. I think you do too. I
do. Yeah, absolutely.
But goddamn, did I screw it up? How to go about that? My Lord, talk about failure. Yeah, let's just pull a fast one on our fairly large listening community at the time and just totally change the name, change the podcast feed from one week to the next. All of a sudden, bam! I'm certain that there are listeners out there going, "What the hell happened to these guys? They literally disappeared."
Yeah.
I did it wrong.
You did it your way.
A very wrong way. And yes, exactly. That's my sentiments exactly. Good old-fashioned fart sounds. So,
but that's okay. I mean, like you said, trial and error and things happen.
I just don't know if we've recovered from that one. Well, Mike, enough of this.
Okay. I just wanted to say, though, that
please do.
It wasn't too bad because when you changed it from the one name to what we are now, we did only go from 20 listeners down to 15.
That's right. That's right. But that's still 25%,
But when you think about it,
see, if we had 5 million listeners and you lost 25% of those overnight, man, that's something.
No biggie. Not that it wouldn't bother us because, But anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to,
I'm depressed now.
Pull us back into this same conversation.
I'm depressed at the thought of my own failure. But that's okay. Mike can take over as host anytime he wants. He often asks me when he can host the show by himself. You should see the look of excitement on his face when he's just begging me to go on air by himself for an hour and a half. Would you be able to do that? You want to?
Why, you
beg me to do that.
I do not want to, but I think it's a possibility that I could, but no guarantee.
So what you're saying is I am like your I am your Fernwood to your Fred Willard, do you remember that show Fernwood Tonight?
I do.
Martin Mull and Fred Willard. As a reference. Anyone else out there know what the hell I'm talking about? Fernwood Tonight? I don't know. I'd like to hear from you.
It kind of goes in the same lines as
this show.
Mary Hartman.
Really? Does it now? I think you're right.
Yeah, well, back then,
Yeah, I know.
Louise Lasser. I saw her in person.
Who the hell is Louise Lasser?
Wow, she played Mary Hartman.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Saw her in Hollywood, actually. She walked by me on the street. Anyway.
You didn't like frighten her. You didn't run up to her and say, "I know you."
I know. I actually ran behind her, going, "Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman."
Which, hey, that's a lot better. A lot
She
better.
turned around and looked at me, and then she ran.
Oh man.
No, I did not say anything to her. But a true story, though.
Well, I hope those who enjoy the long, pointless intros are still around, because this has been a long, pointless intro. But it's been fun.
Yeah, well,
been
we
fun.
probably lost some of those listeners that
Well,
may have thought we need to shorten our intro.
Well, because a lot of people go by that podcasting 101, Mike, where they say, new listeners, they check you out. It's within 1 to 3 minutes, I believe, that they decide if they're going to listen to the rest of the episode or not. And so
Sure, that makes sense.
I'm thinking we probably lose about 90% of people. We probably have a lot of clicks, but not a lot of listens. I don't know.
Well, we can adjust that a little bit.
I think so. And I apologize, everybody. Time to get started here. My mind is a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm getting better. I'm fighting through this damn deluge of sickness, and I'm here. Paranomaly Zone is back, boys and girls. Mike is full throttle, ready to go. Let's start. All joking aside, Humanoid Terrors, some of these things are downright creepy, Mike.
And downright ridiculous, some of them.
Well, of course. You have to take all these with a grain of salt. Of course you do. Of course
That is true.
But some of them are a little more believable, I guess, to use that term. Some are more believable than the others. But again, we're here with an open mind. Some people claim to have seen something. How often? How many of those? What percentage are just plain lying? And how many legit saw something that they cannot explain? We weren't there, obviously. Who the hell knows? We're kind of focusing on stuff that is literally humanoid in nature, Mike. Go figure. Now, when I say humanoid, some of the characteristics that we're looking at here, some of these similar characteristics, these encounters with these alleged cryptids, the cryptids usually have 2 eyes, 2 eyeballs, Mike.
Known as binocular vision.
Binocular vision, that is right. They usually, more than often than not, have the ability to walk upright.
Biomechanic bipedalism, that is called.
Wow, you must be looking at the same shit that you...
So do you think I'm pulling that out of my ass? No, of course.
Shit. Don't give away the secrets, Mike. You sounded brilliant.
Okay, so now you don't sound like you're pulling it out of your butt.
Well, no, I'm reading my professional notes here. You see?
Okay, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, keep following me up here, smarty pants. They are anthropomorphic. Okay, what do you got to follow that up there, Jacques Cousteau? I don't know why the hell I called you Jacques Cousteau.
Well, not quite human, like human mixed with another animal, anthropomorphic.
There you go. Opposable thumbs.
Yes, like the great apes, possibly, and the human.
And humans, exactly. The ability to allegedly build structures, abodes of some nature, and potentially the ability to communicate with other humanoids. Now, and Mike is taking a large sip of, I don't know what that was, tea? You got tea going now, Mike?
Yeah, no, it's just some kind of a juice.
Oh, you like the juice, huh?
I like a juice. Not an alcoholic.
Well, no, that's fine. You don't have... Okay, we all know you're a teetotaler nowadays, okay? It's fine.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, I don't want you to think that I fell off the wagon or anything.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, you said the ability to build...
Well, yeah, Mike, no, you froze up a bit. But yeah, the ability to build structures.
So did you.
And finally, the ability to communicate with other alleged humanoids. Now, that'd be one thing to encounter one humanoid. Can you imagine one of these humanoid terrors? Can you imagine actually encountering multiple at the same time and hearing them communicate? Oh, man, I don't know why that's striking me as funny. It's like, what the hell would they sound like? They would sound perhaps better than us, maybe. I don't know. Oh, Mike sighed.
Wow, yeah. Well, I like the whoops from the Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, the big feats, whoops. Those are pretty darn good. I'm sorry, I'm distracted because Mike's frozen. I'm sure I'm frozen to him too.
You are frozen too, yes.
It just would not be an episode of the Paranomaly Zone without poor internet connection. I don't know what the hell the podcasting gods have against us, But it's like, Christ almighty, I'm tired of it. We finally started rolling here after wasting everyone's time for 20 minutes, and then the internet connection goes bad. I'm feisty.
But yes, can communicate with other humanoids, meaning a structured language that is not necessarily human sounding.
Like, yeah. I mean, in all sincerity, all jokes aside, that would be flipping interesting, but terrifying to hear such communications. Since I did lose that link that I had sent you, I'm going to go find the message I sent to you and open it because I'm brilliant. Yeah, this is an awesome list here, Mike. We're gonna, like I said earlier, we're gonna pick and choose some of these just bizarre tales. Some of them are well known. We'll skip through those. Black-eyed children, always terrifying, but I think we had a episode dedicated to the black-eyed children a few years ago.
That fascinating subject.
Yeah, they terrify me. Absolutely terrify me. Some of them are beyond ridiculous. Some of them you don't know if they're cryptid related at all, like the Bunny Man encounter, Mike. Supposedly this humanoid bunny was spotted carrying a knife and it was like involved in an alleged murder. And it's like, well, I don't know about that one. It seems a little far-fetched. I mean, it might have been just some loony deciding to dress up in a bunny outfit before he committed his heinous crimes, So we're going to skip through stuff like that. You have the fun, but yet crazy Bunyip. I just love saying that name. The Bunyip.
Bunyip. I like saying the Ahool as well.
I know. It reminds me of Ghostbusters. It reminds me of Zoo and all that shite. Where should we start, Mike? Some of the stuff I wrote down earlier, the Pale Crawlers is one that is just... That actually is the image of this episode, is alleged, again, there's that word again, allegedly a photo capture of one of these pale crawlers. Some of them are referred to as what is known as the rake. The photo could be a complete fake. It could be a fake rake, but we do not know. The Dobar Chew, crazy. The gender uwo, or is it the gender uwu? It would rhyme with the Dobar.
Yeah. The Squonk.
The Squonk. We've talked about that on Patreon before, I think. The Squonk. I just love that name. The Grafton Monster. The Dice Devil of Eklund County. There's so many to choose from. Let's get going.
Yes. Choose
wisely. Well, I'm going to start with the Dice Devil of Eklund County, okay?
Okay.
This first sighting alleged to have occurred on September 3rd of 1989. So, not that long ago for old people like Mike and I, but actually, quite a while ago, 35 years? Almost 35 years? The Dice Devil of Eklund County, also known as the Eklund County Entity, was an unidentified humanoid seen by 3 teenage boys in the woods near Munson, Arkansas back in 1989. This sighting also apparently was the beginning of a UFO uproar of the same time in the same area. Not sure if there's any legit connections between this bizarre Dice Devil Man and the ensuing UFO sightings, but you never know. There's only one time that this Dice Devil was seen, Mike. Just once, and that's one time too many, if you ask me. As I mentioned, on September 3rd, 1989, 3 teenage boys were in their back bedroom of their family home, alone playing a game, when they claimed to have heard a series of loud bangs from the nearby woods. All the boys agreed that the sounds were not gunshots. They were all familiar with gunshot sounds living in a rural area. But after looking out the window of the bedroom and seeing an unexplained orange light weaving amongst the trees about 300 yards away, well, they decided to go check it out. after, of course, grabbing their daddy's shotgun. Probably a wise decision, just for protection. You never know what the hell's out there. You ever seen an orange bright light, Mike, and decided to check it out with a shotgun?
No.
Okay, neither have I. Now, reaching the small wooded area, the boys encountered what they described as a mysterious-looking man in a suit with deep red skin. They would later describe it as the color of a cherry. And in case you were wondering, we did have a successful time-traveling excursion because, shocking, we're suffering internet connection problems here, but we're going to forge forth to the best of our abilities. Mike, I believe the last thing I read about the Dice Devil of Eklund County,
Yes.
we just got started on this one, but the last thing I mentioned about his description was the skin being the color of a cherry, for gosh sakes.
Well, that's quite devilish.
Very devilish, hence
In
the name.
the traditional devil with horns and stuff.
Oh, gosh, absolutely. I mean,
Forked tail and a pitchfork and all that hype.
I don't know if this one includes a pitchfork or anything like that, but we'll see.
No, it doesn't. I'm sure not.
The Dice Devil was described to have slick black hair, a black mustache, and horn-like protrusions from his forehead. There you go.
There you go.
Hence the devil descriptions. This made the boys immediately uncomfortable. I do not blame them. Oh, excuse me. I just gulped on my own breath there. That was an odd sensation. But the boys remained silent, and the man approached them smiling. You remember when we talked about Indrid Cole, the smiling
Yes.
man? Ugh, creepy. He was then said to greet them in a European accent, of all things, seemingly speaking in the teenagers' minds directly without moving his mouth.
Okay. Telepathically.
So telepathically, he came across as European.
So, so from your mind, if it's telepathic and you're not actually forming the words with your mouth, it still comes across with an accent.
That's interesting. I mean,
Very interesting.
I mean, why would it not? I suppose. I mean,
Sure.
You hear several alleged. God, I gotta stop using the word alleged. Every time I say the word alleged, I wish I could pinch myself in a private area.
You wait till you're
Yeah,
done with
later
the
when I'm
podcast.
done.
You can pinch all you want.
Okay, I'll count the alleged times that I said alleged, and then I'll pinch myself.
Yes.
Allegedly. So, speaking through the teenagers' minds directly, as we said, asking for directions to the nearest town. I mean, even dice devils need directions. They get lost every now and then. Now, after the boys gave him some very vague directions to the nearby Munson, he offered them a small carved stone dice as a thank you, suggesting that it would, this is a quote now,
Yeah.
that it would be good for the game they were playing. Now, how in the heck would he know what game they were playing up in their bedroom before they saw this?
Telepathically.
Telepathically,
Mind
apparently.
reading.
The teenagers were distracted by the unusual dice, which bore cryptic symbols instead of numbers. But when they looked up, the man had vanished, as if he had zapped, that's a quote again, out of existence. And then suddenly realizing the terror of the situation, three boys ran back to the homes and hid until the brother's mother returned from work hours later.
I wonder where they hid.
Well, they were terrified, obviously.
Yeah. Like
Did you say
in a
why?
closet or something.
I'm sorry. I thought you said why they hid. You said where
I
did
wonder,
they hid.
I wonder where they hid.
Okay,
That's
I'm
like under
sorry.
the bed or in a closet or behind the toilet.
Yeah.
I do not know.
So, Mike, I have to say this real quick. For
Yes, go
our
ahead.
future YouTube episodes and future Patreon video episodes, I like the setup you have it now. I think it looks really good. This would be a very good visual for YouTube viewers right now or Patreon viewers.
Absolutely.
I think how you switched it up, I think it looks good. I think you did a good job.
Oh, thank you. I thank you.
So, Mike, just because we've had such bad internet connections, knock on wood, we're going to have to fly through a lot of these. But any thoughts, any vibes on the potential reality of this dice devil and what it may or may not have been?
Well, it almost with the with that dice with the cryptic symbols on it.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
It almost reminds me of a UFO encounter, an alien type thing that
Sure.
would have this with cryptic, but the way it described that he looks, I don't know. It just totally throws it off. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know if it's paranormal in nature.
Yeah. Well,
Purely cryptid.
The thing I appreciated about it is that he was obviously not a danger to these kids.
No, sure didn't seem like it.
Wanted directions and gave them a gift as a thank you. So definitely no malicious activity at all. But just seeing that thing, no matter how friendly it is, or maybe it was somebody made up in a costume at
That's the thing.
A party.
Could it have been an elaborate hoax? Again.
Well, anything could be an elaborate hoax.
Yes, of course.
Any of these things.
Now, this next one is an interesting alleged encounter. Oh, there's that damn word. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to
pinch yourself.
Oh, okay. I just pinched myself. Sorry.
Don't do that again.
This next one, Mike, that I'd like to share is the Grafton Monster, or the Monster. The Grafton Monster, or Beast of Grafton, which was a supposed cryptid encounter which took place in 1964 in Taylor County, West Virginia. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for some craziness here?
We actually have a Grafton, North Dakota.
Do you?
Yes, I've been there. There's a big, very creepy state hospital there that's still in use, but I've been in there, and it is crazy.
That wasn't the one that we drove past when we went to Tegas.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
This is north of Fargo, actually. But anyway, go ahead.
Alrighty. Just, of course, because it wouldn't be the Paranomaly zone if things didn't continue to go wrong. My phone totally froze up. And there it finally came back. Okay. Woohoo! But it came up on the wrong freaking creature.
Okay, which one
Mike, read the Grafton Monster encounter from the link I just sent you. I'm seriously, my phone is like dead. What the hell? Okay, save the podcast, Mike. Save it.
I will save it. The Grafton Monster. I am finding it right now.
I know. This is so bad.
Okay. The type is humanoid, of course, what we're talking about. June 16th, 1964 is the first sighting. And the last sighting was actually in 1964.
One-time encounter, right?
Yes. In the United States, in Taylor County, West Virginia.
Or Virginia. I live in Virginia.
Okay, so that's okay.
Oh God, am I derailing everything from
no.
phone
Here
problems?
We go.
Okay.
The Grafton Monster is described as being 7 to 9 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and having white seal-like skin. I do not like this. The monster also possesses no discernible head. The Grafton Monster's head was rested in the middle of its chest. The Grafton Monster has a very deep bellow being heard for miles. The sightings on June 16, 1964, Robert Cockrell got off work at the local newspaper publication, the Grafton Sentinel, now known as the Mountain Statesman, at 11 p.m. and journeyed home as he drove down Yates Avenue along the western banks of the Tigert River. He turned a curve in the road and encountered the Grafton Monster, describing it as a huge white obstruction with slick white skin and no head. He rushed home terrified and called his friends Jerry Morse and Jim Mouser to accompany him for further investigation at the scene. There is no sight of the monster, but the grass was trampled where it once stood, and a low whistling sound followed them as they investigated.
Ooh.
The next day at work, Cockrell said nothing to his coworkers about the monster. However, upon hearing of other sightings, he decided to speak up. More than 20 calls came in from people who allegedly sighted the monster.
Stop it.
Robert Cockrell wrote an article in the Grafton Monster, which was published in the Sentinel on June 18th. Following these sightings, groups of teenagers went in search of the Grafton Monster, dubbing it monster hunting. Several of them even reportedly sighted the monster. More sightings followed, but no physical evidence was ever found. In the Tigard Valley, a farmer called Terry captured a video of the Grafton Monster. Interesting.
Okay, now let's backtrack a little bit here.
Okay, yes.
The Grafton Monster. How tall was it allegedly, or how?
7 to 9 feet.
And it didn't have a head.
Yes, it was centered on his chest. Well, hey, if you're going to have a head, that's probably the best place to have it.
No,
I'm bump it on the
That's very true.
on a tree limb or something.
So
but anyway,
it either doesn't have a head or like the world's thickest neck. Where you just can't.
Right.
You can't. There is no discernible difference between where the head ends and the shoulders and whatnot begins.
right. Well, and actually, maybe instead of nipples, that's where the eyes went.
Oh, eyes
You
for
know.
nipples, or nipples for eyes. Ooh.
Yeah, we just lost another couple listeners.
You know,
Right.
I guarantee you that's going to pop up somewhere down the road. You know, the Tanzania nipple monster or something. You know,
Yeah.
You know, it had.
I heard about it on this one podcast a long time ago.
So I believe, Mike, in all sincerity, when I was briefly looking through this earlier today, one of the alleged, oh Jesus Christ, Koffenberg, one of the supposed,
Which means alleged.
yeah, I know, supposed explanations for what this thing was merely misidentification of someone. I'm not joking. Someone pushing a shopping cart overflowing with goods. I'm talking about, like, you know, the stuff you go buy at a market. The shopping cart was so full with goods and supplies that someone down the road mistook it for a moving mobile beast because they couldn't see the human behind the cart pushing said cart.
I like the way you said beast.
So it's like, okay, come on now. I understand being a little cynical every now and then. I definitely understand being skeptical, but come on, I mean,
Exactly.
really, how stupid do you think some people are that they would not recognize? Well, maybe I should backtrack. Maybe I'll backtrack a little bit here. Do you think it was someone just simply misidentifying an overflowing shopping cart?
Well, it's a good theory, I guess.
Is it?
No, but there is an explanation that is written here.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. What is it then?
Okay, the explanation that they have is one teenager that was interviewed suggested that the Grafton Monster may have been an escaped polar bear.
An escaped polar bear in West Virginia.
Yes. However, he
From a
gave
zoo.
no suggestions as to where it could have escaped from. On June 19th, 1964, the Grafton Sentinel published an article claiming the sightings of the Grafton Monster were the personification of active imaginations. It claimed the monster may have resulted from an individual pushing
Yeah, exactly.
a handcart loaded high with boxes, walking along Riverside Drive on Tuesday night in the late evening, half light. The person and the handcart took on a weird shape.
Exactly. Isn't that just? I don't know. I mean, come on.
But Robert Cockrell would later contact paranormal author Gray Barker, who popularized tales of the Mothman. In a letter written to Cockrell, Barker suggested that the Grafton Monster could possibly be an alien visitor from another planet. Others have also suggested that it could have been an interdimensional traveler.
Okay, so a headless, 7 foot tall, easily misidentified interdimensional traveler. Okay.
Well, they have some artwork here and some that people have drawn some pictures of what they think they saw.
Is it a shopping cart?
No, it looks like a big troll with his head hanging down and very bulky,
bulging,
beastly creature. And it looks like it's wearing a torn loincloth.
Well, of course it would. It has to cover up its
some
its
kind
privates.
of a animal fur.
Now, Mike, when we broke up earlier today, I mean, we didn't break up like as a couple or anything like that. when we were losing internet connection and all that good stuff.
Got it. Go ahead.
I was mentioning some of the wild, weird, wacky stuff that we were going to skip over. Like, did you hear me talk about the Bunny Man, the alleged Bunny Man cryptid, where it was again? Oh, I said alleged again. God dang it!
Was that's not the bunyip, is it?
No. The Bunny Man. The Bunny Man. It's
Bunny Man. Okay.
It is quite literally. We're not going to talk about it because it could be anything. It's just absolutely ridiculous. People claim that it was actually like a bipedal humanoid, go figure, bunny, but yet it was carrying like a knife and it committed murder that night. Again, all hearsay. Oh, I don't know if it's hearsay. Who the hell knows if there's any ounce of truth to it and stuff, but
well, and in the other hand, it was carrying an Easter basket where it put the heads of the people that he murdered.
Yes. Died heads.
Yes.
No. Oh, good God. Okay, I'm sorry about that. All right, Mike. Let's see here. Man, we got some good ones here. We got an elephant. We got an elephant humanoid. We could talk about that one. But I choose not to, just because first and foremost, I want to say something to you, Mike. Have you ever been referred to as an abominable swamp slob?
Well, before I lost all my weight, yes.
No, you have not. No
one. Now I'm an abominable swamp skinny person.
I just want to click on this guy right now because I love the name. We're going to talk about the Billy Whack monster.
Billy Whack?
Have you heard of the Billy Whack
I'm
monster?
Getting there. Oh, I see. The Banshee.
Now, this is a legend that was originated in California. Supposedly, the Billy Whack monster is a tall, muscular, ape-like humanoid that is covered in gray hair and has long, ram-like horns. There's those damn horns again.
That's a nasty-looking drawing of that.
The monster supposedly torments the pupils of various high schools. Such torments include throwing 50-pound rocks at people's cars and pounding its giant hands on the hoods of said cars. It has also been reported that it carries a giant club. Well, of course it would. Enough of the Billy Whack monster.
Yeah. But hell of a drawing of it, though.
Pretty cool drawing. Yeah, pretty cool drawing.
Interesting.
Which one did I write down? Oh, yeah, the gender uwu. Gender uwu. This one I briefly looked at a couple days ago. Excuse me, Mike. I keep getting like these.
The gender?
Gender uwa. The gender or gender uwo. It's sound it out. That's how it's spelled. Gender. Then U
gender.
W O. Or
okay.
W A.
Okay.
This is, again, a supposedly mythical, potentially real creature from Java, Indonesia. It is described, Mike, as reddish or black-skinned, a large, hairy humanoid with a large and muscular body. Within Javanese mythology, this creature is said to be supernatural in nature, with the ability to disappear and appear at will or transform into a human. Now, there are
shapeshifter.
Yes, there are quite a few on this list that have shape-shifting qualities. Again, another fascinating, potentially real phenomena. The gender uwa, is described generally, again, as a muscular, hairy humanoid, reddish, black skin, and there's that word, bulging eyes, beastly bulging eyes. But because of its supernatural ability, it sometimes may appear at first as a hairy dwarf humanoid, only to quickly transform into a gigantic humanoid when approached by a human. Defense mechanism, maybe. I think you hit your mic, Mike, because you're muted. I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
Okay, I was just going to say it.
There
It
you go.
prefers to be called a little person, not a dwarf.
Okay, mute your mic again. I'm kidding. Don't.
I did. I
know what you're
God,
saying.
see that get into my freaking brain like an earwig. Anyway,
there's also
wow,
said-
this gets crazy. This gets
I
really
know.
crazy. Go ahead, keep going.
It is also said to have the ability to communicate with humans and even transform into humans to trick others. It is said that the gender Uwo possess magnificent sex drives and hypnotic skills. The gender Uwo seduce women by transforming into their husbands and inhabit the female's uterus to gain sexual satisfaction for both itself and the women it inhabits. It sounds like a common night at the Carbonell household.
Wow, it sounds parasitic to me.
Ooh, creepy. Very, very creepy either way.
So, and it can even produce human gender. Woo.
It's tough to say.
Hybrids from. So where are they? I mean, wouldn't we see them or what?
Yeah, that's, I don't know. There's nothing really mentioned about the supposed human gender woo hybrids, but you can definitely imagine. Goodness gracious. Yeah, we're skipping some of the stuff about some of these obscure mentions of the erotic film genre of cryptids. We don't need to dive into that.
The gender rule is as great granddaddy. It's been described as.
Okay, don't read any further.
I'm not going to go any further than that. Especially the poop for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
You make me nervous. Oh, well, that's all we need to really dive into, because it gets in kind of adult in nature there, boys and girls. I'll tell you that right now.
It does, and
So what is that kind of? It's not the I'm drawing an absolute blank, Mike. It's, oh man, to be overcome sexually by either. Why am I drawing a blank? There's a male version of it and the incubus. Jesus, a succubus and incubus.
Succubus and incubus, yes.
So that kind of seems similar in nature a bit to me, a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but
the hypnotic trance that it puts the women in.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, everybody, do we believe all this stuff is legit? No, we're not saying that, but it's fascinating because a hell of a lot of people do, and a lot of people claim to have encountered these. So
exactly.
You have to listen to everything. You can't just tell everyone to say, "Hey, no, you're wrong. Shut up." That's what I do to Mike too often. So yeah, I'm sorry. I do.
And I let it happen.
No, I do not, and you do not. Come on.
Okay. Anyway, what do you got next?
Oh, I got quite a few of them here, Mike. Got quite a few of them.
Did you ever think about mentioning the abominable swamp slob?
Well, I asked you if you have been referred to it before.
See, that's where my memory goes.
That was like not even 5 minutes ago.
Yep, that's how it goes. All right, go ahead.
Do you remember where you are right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I am at home in some room surrounded by things I don't know what they are. Okay.
It's some woman who lives inside my house. Now, Mike, we would be remiss to not mention at least what is featured on the episode picture for Humanoid Terrors. I'm talking about, of course, those darn pale crawlers, Mike. Some people refer to them as perhaps the rake, maybe a relative of the rake, similar in nature and appearance for sure.
Very, very much so, yeah.
I might have mentioned it earlier in the episode. I'm not sure if that photo that I used is a known hoax. I don't know if it is a legit photo of some unknown entity. I really don't, but I love the picture. I think it's creepy. And it's perfect for the topic. But there's no denying the encounters that people have shared with such, oh God, they're just eerie looking. These just how else can you describe them? They're pale. They're I was going to say slimy, but they're not slimy. They should be slimy. They look like they should just be oozing with, horrendous, odorous ooze.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything else to say.
Like smelly, moist skin.
Thank you for using the word moist.
Yeah, well, I had to throw that in a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. The pale crawler is definitely a phenomenon. Enigmas that tend to appear at night. Entities, maybe you want to refer to them. Nocturnal, creepy bastards. We'll call them. Humanoid creatures, humanoid in nature for sure, described by eyewitnesses as thin and pale. Long limbs with claws and large black eyes. They're also known to be incredibly fast, stealthy, and smart. Man, I don't like the sound of that. Confirmed. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you out.
Oh, I was just going to share some of these listed confirmed sightings.
And the sightings are actually worldwide. It's not just
Yeah.
It's not just specific areas of the country. It's worldwide. Anyway,
it's a worldly pale crawler.
Yes.
Some of these confirmed sightings, some of the dates include June 14th, 2008, July 23rd, 2013, April 19th, 2022, not that long ago. One of the sightings is detailed as near a forested area in Higgins Lake, Michigan. The sighting described two unnamed men where one was injured and one was killed. Police passed it off as a bear attack officially. The validity of the bear attack is, however, unlikely, as video that has since been lost was shown to have disproved that theory. Okay, what? Read that. I'm going to read that again. Validity of the bear attack is unlikely, as video that has since been lost, of course it has, was shown to have disproved that theory. Now, again, is this a lot of hot garbage, a lot of rumors in the cryptid fandom community? Or was there legit video of something unexplained taking down these poor souls? Don't know. The 2013 sighting took place upstate New York, near Niagara, where a crawler was seen by a park ranger who would lose his job to, quote, unruly conduct, poor mental capability, and an inability to distinguish reality from fiction.
They thought he was crazy.
They thought that man was nuts. The crawler was caught on camera, but the Ranger Service confiscated it as official evidence. There you go again. Supposed video that is confiscated.
Cover it up. Yep, cover it up.
Oh, I'm seeing a pattern here. The 2022 sighting took place in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. The sighting of a possible crawler occurred on the intersection of Tell and Bray due to its location. It has been debated whether this was a crawler, Fleshgate, or the infamous Beast of Bray Road. We've talked about that Beast of Bray Road before. Now there's a hell of a lot of unconfirmed sightings, Mike. This first one here that I'm going to share is pretty intriguing. April 2nd, 1946, an alleged sighting of a pale crawler. After returning home from Europe, Sergeant... Did I say that again? God damn.
Yeah, but go ahead. It's okay.
Pinchy time. Pinchy time. After returning home from Europe, Sergeant McKay of the 4th Infantry Division in the U.S. military claimed he saw, quote, an unimaginable creature that was, again, quote, pale with hollow eyes, and that the eyes saw him and pierced him. Now, does he mean the eyes pierced through him? Not literally, but you know how the saying goes, the eyes pierced right through.
Yeah, very piercing.
Now, whether this was a crawler is open to interpretation, as it happened so long ago, 1946, as a matter of fact. With Sergeant McKay's death in 2017, the facts may never be known as truth. However, he remained adamant that what he saw was 100% real, and it was, in fact, the cause of his PTSD.
Wow.
So what could he be describing if he saw something that he worded as an unimaginable creature, pale and hollow eyes that pierced through him? You know, this is a sergeant. This is a military man. Again, I'm not saying all military people are saints and they never lie. I'm not saying that. But
I was a sergeant in the military, and I wasn't too bad.
you weren't too bad. No. You've only well, I won't say anything. So
anyway.
Anything that pops in your brain, Mike? I mean, we've all heard all the crazy, wacky World War II, well, how would you describe it? I don't want to say a goblin, but like the gremlins, that supposedly hacked those damn airplanes, I mean, what pops into your brain?
Well, the drawing or the photo of it, I mean, it's a very well-known photo where the glowing eyes and it's, that sitting in that position and everything, it's just so spectral-like and, could be gremlin-like. I don't know, but it's, to look at that picture, you really get a feeling of like, if that's real, I wouldn't want to deal with it.
Oh God, that is nightmare material.
Yeah, very much so.
Absolute nightmare material. Another encounter took place June 7th, 1988. One Theo and Marty Kronk and Alexis Grace in Independence, Missouri were driving to their friend's house when they witnessed a large white creature that leaped over the guardrail of the bridge they were on and swung its hand at them. It was also seen in September of the same year by Dave Browning in Corning, Iowa, who was driving his semi-truck when he saw the creature crawling around outside the warehouse he worked at. When I hear things like crawling around, and you look at this image that's like the podcast image itself, oh my gosh, it gives me the flipping heebie-jeebies, Mike.
It's very impish.
Imp and like a large imp.
Very large, impish, frightening creature.
I don't like it. I don't like these pale crawlers at all. No.
Or does impish mean small? Am I wrong? I could be using the wrong word. But it is.
I'll say you're right.
It is crazy, yeah.
There are so many of these. I was going to say it, but I was going. Damn it! But these sharp claws, Mike. The sharp claws, the sunken, perhaps maybe empty eye sockets altogether. I don't flip.
Which you can see in that. I don't know. I've seen it so many times I can't tell if it's supposed to be a photograph or probably just a drawn image. But those eyes, as they do look sunken and hollow, but with that bright, shining flashlight looking light coming out of them.
Are you familiar with Lord of the Rings, Mike? I get a Gollum vibe.
Like the Gollum. Yes, actually. My precious, I need my precious.
See, that's not nearly as terrifying as your E.T. impersonation.
I can.
Don't do it.
I won't do it.
Don't do it.
I won't do it.
So
gave you nightmares as a young child.
By the way, shout out to a listener, longtime listener, Adam, friend of the podcast, Adam Kelly, because he sent us sent me and you a wonderful GIF of a squealing E.T. from the classic E.T. movie, saying, "I need this right now from you and myself." And so, he enjoyed the idea of me being terrified by.
Yes, thank you, Adam, for that. That is absolutely awesome. And was it on Twitter?
It was on the twit, yes.
Okay, and I hate the thought of that. I'm not on there as much as I should be. So, in my new setup right now, I think I'll be able to be more comfortable doing that. So.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I will check that out.
Yeah, I miss you on the twit, Mike.
Yeah, I miss it too.
We used to have a lot of good back and forth banter, you and I.
Yes. Oh, we shall again.
And now, 'tis no more. Mike is
it shall continue.
Mike is too good for the twit.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not too good for nothing. Anyway, what do you got next year? I want to hear something.
Yeah, absolutely. The one I want to dive into is known affectionately as the Beast of the land between the lakes. It's intriguing for sure. If it sounds like I'm stalling because my phone is effing me up again, so I have to reset and literally
I got
type
it up.
in. Oh, you got it up? Okay. Oh, that sounded terrible.
Ooh, that's an awesome drawing of that. Looks kind of werewolfish.
Lay it on us, Mike. What the hell is this lake monster thing or between the lakes?
The beast of the land between the lakes in Kentucky is said to resemble a gigantic half-man, half-wolf that walks on two legs, hence the look of the werewolf, and has 5-fingered human hands ending in vicious claws. The creature is said to stand over 7 feet tall with massive crushing jaws and glowing eyes. Actually sounds like my Great Pyrenees.
God, I thought you were going to say your ex-wife again.
No, I'm just kidding. No. But anyway, there are several legends. Wait, God dang it. There are several legends. It's loading up still in it. I lost it. But anyway, there are several legends attached to the beast.
How many legends? How many?
Yes, several.
Okay, just wondering.
One story begins with a Native American creature with the ability to shapeshift.
That's right. I love these shapeshifters.
Yes, awesome.
Phenomenal.
Another legend speaks of a man who left Europe in the 1800s to settle between the rivers. So there must be 2 rivers with land in between, with a shrubbery and a white picket fence along the way.
Shrubbery.
And more shrubbery. You must bring me a shrubbery.
Nice to say.
Say me. Anyway, this man supposedly possessed a disease that turned him mad after nightfall. The disease was believed to be genetic and was passed from parent to child over the years. So there would have been more of these generationally.
Oh, hell yeah.
They remained in seclusion, never going to school or having the desire to socialize with others until one day when they went silent. Many believed that the family had died. An investigation in the early 1900s revealed that their homestead was vacant and abandoned. Early accounts from French explorers and traders in the region speak of their being warned of the shadowy presence of a loup-garou.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. That is totally familiar to Paranomally Zone listeners.
Yes. By Shawnee fur traders. A later legend claims that the monster is a spirit of a shape-shifting Shawnee shaman. That's got a great ring to it. Shawnee shaman.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about alliteration. Shape-shifting Shawnee shaman.
That's right. Who was killed in wolf form by the inhabitants of his village for abusing his powers. His spirit is said to still walk the woods in search of revenge. Accounts of the creature from the early days of American expansion into Kentucky tell of hunters disappearing in the woods and of strange, unnatural howls that echoed through the forests at night. At this time, bison still roamed wild in Kentucky, and hunters would sometimes encounter mutilated carcasses of these massive animals. Now, that's saying a lot.
Well, and this stuff isn't
about a big bison.
And this isn't stuff that to sneeze at, or to snicker at, because these are documented accounts. I mean, no one knows for sure what caused these mutilations. We still don't know. We still talk about cattle mutilations all the flipping time.
Exactly. Like these, the bison, they lay half-eaten in the deep grass, their throats ripped open by massive claws. Even now, with the efforts to restore the bison to Kentucky, the rangers and herd managers occasionally find calves missing. After one of the young goes missing, the herd is reputedly spooked for days, sticking together in the close formation of the animals used to protect themselves from predators.
Yeah.
Now that could be, wolves taking the young ones and causing the defensive grouping. So, but there are modern sightings, though.
Some of these wild, or these descriptions of like the wild howling, like howling that they haven't heard before. I mean, these are experienced woodsmen. These are people who know what they encounter, know what they have here, for the most part. There's always stuff that goes unexplained, but man, to tie the two and two together with these mysterious, unexplained, and terrifying howls and these mutilations. It's the classic seeds for a horror story, and it could be.
It is.
It could have a very rational explanation, but why talk rationale when you're talking all things wacky and weird on the PARAnomaly? So we love thinking about these as more than just the ordinary explanations. But the beast of the land between the lakes, man, another one. I like that one, man. Kind of terrifying.
At the end of this story about this creature, there is one comment that somebody had written referring to it, and I'd like to read that. It's just short, but it makes a lot of sense to me.
Please.
There are creatures that science refuses to recognize, but if our eyes see it, if our cameras capture it, does it exist?
That's the ultimate question, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that kind of profound thing there?
Well, it's similar kind of in nature to the question I asked you last week, Mike, and for all of our listeners, obviously, to think about it too, is like, is it even technically possible? Will we ever be able to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt to those wonderful pseudo-skeptics or even science itself that ghosts are real, that ghosts exist? Is it theoretically possible to prove it? Kind of similar question in nature.
In the words of our great friend, Mr. Z,
we seem to mention every episode. Exactly.
It is not possible. Which, hey, like we said, we respect him very much and his opinions.
So, Mike, I hate to cut this short, but this is
right.
I think we're pushing our luck here. We haven't had any internet connections for the last 30 minutes. That's great. Unfortunately, we're running late. I want to get the episode out before the evening is through. It is a couple hours before midnight. Yeah, I always release it late at night. It's probably not the most opportune time to release new episodes. But I wanted to ask you this before, Mike. The possibility that any or all or a good percentage or none of these could be explained as not humanoid cryptids. But I wrote this down on my professional notes. These are, in fact, human abominations of some sort. And her too. I wrote down melon heads as an example. You remember the story of the melon heads?
Yeah, I've been called that a few times.
Well, no. These are, that story goes referring to the melon head kind of creepy story. Encounters with, I'll just say it, human-like beings with gigantic noggins, okay, and very alien-like in nature, roaming through the woods. What was it? It wasn't in New Jersey. I can't remember exactly where it was. But a lot of people sit there and claim that the true answers to these encounters with these wild melon heads, they were escaped medical patients who were suffering from the disease that causes enlarged craniums, Mike. I know you know the story. What is the possibility that all of these, if not most, are simply they're real? People did see them, but they're unfortunate humans suffering some sort of, physical, how the hell you want to disfigurement, deformity, birth defect, disease, any number of things. What do you think about that possibility?
Or interbreeding.
That too, yes.
but I don't think there's a very large percentage of that. I think it's more of a case of misidentification, misinterpretation. There's a lot of that. But
it could be an overstuffed shopping cart. You never know.
Exactly. But I was going to say, on the other hand, I think that there is a good part of them, a good majority of them, that have some truth in them. the legend starts and it goes on. It could start from truth like they often do, embellished over the decades or generations. But when you talk about these things that are still being seen and experienced, and by so many reputable people, you got to think some kind of fact to it.
Oh, of course. I agree with you 195% on that one, Mike. You can't just automatically dismiss everything, but you have to sit there. You have to be reasonable at the same time. You can't,
absolutely.
You can't immediately believe. You can't immediately dismiss. You have to look into it with an open mind. Learn the story. Learn the backstory. Gather a little info, and then make your decision. That's the only fair way to do that. It really is.
That's
Mike,
great.
before we wrap up here, and thank you for making this work. We are running late. And I apologize for that again. I apologize for your internet connection, everybody. I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode as discombobulated as it has been.
Discombobulated.
Check out our Patreon page. I did post a clip from our last episode. Mike, you thought that was a pretty weird audio anomaly we picked up on the last episode. I mean,
absolutely, that's fantastic.
I mean, boys and girls, if you want to, you can just go to YouTube and you can find it for free. I get that. I totally get that. But if you want to support the podcast, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. A shit ton of really cool content over there, exclusive content, including our own personal paranormal investigations. Well, investigations in total, but you know what I mean, clips from an audio and video clips from our paranormal investigations and so on and so forth. And almost 70 damn exclusive Patreon episodes you can't find anywhere else. But that little clip was kind of cool, Mike. That's not the only interesting thing on there. I don't know how to explain that. It sounded like a female humming voice, like a whimsical tone, singing perhaps, humming in the background while you were talking, while you were drawing the winner. The name of the winner, Miss Angela Don, before you said that, there was something in the background that is unexplainable.
You sent me that clip, right?
I did. Of course I did.
Yeah,
yes.
Because I remember. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yes. It's awesome. Yeah. And we had some pretty big orbs at the same time, didn't we? If I remember correctly.
They're flopping around in that episode for sure. We mentioned that before we started recording. We saw them on camera, and then lo and behold, this audio was picked up. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of
pretty awesome.
Like it. I like it a lot. It's pretty interesting. But anyways, Mike, that necessary evil out of the way. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was, well, you know what it was, the Paranomaly Zone. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope to see you next week.
We'll be better next time, I promise.
Is that
that's a disclaimer I have to put at the end of every episode.
It's a promise we intend to keep, but will we? Well, you got to tune in next week to see if we do or not. Mike, until then, what do our paranormal friends of the podcast need to do?
Well, everybody just needs to peace out.